Here is Alexander in Arlington, Virginia. Alexander, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Favola. I guess you continue to refuse to address directly the allegations of...
I'm sorry. You need to put your headphones on, Barbara. Could you start over again, Alexander?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm saying that basically you continue to refuse to address directly the allegations of repeated conflicts of interest due to these large campaign contributions that you've been receiving from developers and towing companies. And the recent example, I think, that it was cited was a $2,500 donation that you accepted 5 days before you decided voting to raise towing fees on a split 3-2 board decision, which basically provided the towing company about $250,000. And in response, your campaign basically said that it was solely based on the recommendation of the advisory committee. However, the recommendation is not binding. At least 2 out of the 5 board members voted against it. And in fact, some of the other recommendations, all 5 of you rejected it.
Okay, allow me to have Barbara Favola respond.
Sure, I'd be happy to respond. The towing question that came before the board had multiple parts to it. But let me just say, we had an advisory committee with citizen representation on that committee, as well as other stakeholders. The county manager evaluated the request in an objective, professional way. And we also compared our towing fees with other jurisdictions in Northern Virginia. And as it turned out, we were lower. So in my judgment, and it was my judgment alone, I am a very independent thinker, and when I take a vote, the only person I answer to is myself and my conscience. I determined that it was appropriate to go forward with this increase. It had nothing at all to do with this donation. That's the fact.
You can acknowledge it was your campaign donation was an untimely donation?
It was an untimely donation, but let me make a point. 2 years ago, I also voted to increase the towing fees, again, for very legitimate reasons. So
how do you feel
it is what it is.
About the tactics of your opponents? I mentioned that he's been sending campaign mailers tying you to Republicans like Bob McDonnell and Ken Cuccinelli. I'm pretty sure you don't necessarily see yourselves on the same philosophical train as they are.
Oh, no, I don't see myself on the same philosophical train, nor do the Republicans. I'm sure you know in the Sun Gazette this morning, the leader of the GOP in Arlington came out and said, there's just no similarity between Barbara Favola and Governor McDonnell or Ken Cuccinelli. So, I mean, that's just a gross untruth. And it's, unfortunate that the campaign would get down to that.
What do you think of your opponent?
What do I think of my opponent? Oh, I think he's a, very nice, young, ambitious gentleman who, I think is looking for a job in the state Senate.